And welcome once again. My name is Rafael Vasquez. I am the EOPS Outreach Coordinator here at Santa Rosa Junior College. And now I want to talk with you about scholarships. This is Scholarships 101. And it is important, again, as we're preparing for college, or if you're already in college, it is important to always be looking for scholarships. Today, we're going to be talking about multiple scholarships, including a scholarship that doesn't require legal status and is for students who are in 7th grade, 12th grade, or students who are at a community college and will be transferring to a university. When we're talking about college, it is important to always keep in mind maintaining a budget and learning early enough how to save for college. So when you are in college, ways that you can save money includes, again, cooking at home, learning to cook at home when you're young, so that when you go to college or university, you do not waste money eating out all the time. Your friends in college may say, hey, let's go out and let's go out and let's go to this place. And again, it's nice to be able to spend time with people. But as I have mentioned in other trainings, it is important that you understand that if you have to limit your expenses, and if your friends cannot respect that, maybe it's time that you can either suggest other activities, such as going for a hike, going for a walk, that doesn't include spending money, or unfortunately, letting go of those individuals who fail to understand that you have limits on your budget. Again, individuals may go out and go to the movies, other type of entertainments. You may not be able to do that. So limiting and knowing what your budget and abiding by your budget is essential. And then the other thing that I know I did when I was in college many years ago was books. So there's different programs that may tell you that you have to buy your books on campus, but there may be other programs that may say, here's a little bit of funding, go buy your books, whatever you can. I know that now buying books online and used books for classes like English and maybe history, it may be much, much cheaper to do so online, even with shipping fees. But maybe for a biology or a chemistry class, it may not be cost effective because often they require you to have some type of access code. But again, when I was in college, one of the biggest places that saved me thousands of dollars was the library, both on campus and off campus. And as a result of that, I will always be grateful because not only did they provide me books for free for the semester, but also they created a healthy space for me to be at when I was going to go study. And again, we want to make sure that, again, you are careful about how much you're using your cell phone, not only because it can lead to depression, but also because some of your cell phone plans may have a limited amount of data that you can use on a monthly basis. And if you're just using it all the time, you may end up with fees later on. And again, if you have an ATM card and you don't know how to control a budget, by the end of the month, you go, you check, and you've been using that debit card, and now you have all these $30 fees, which is going to add up to hundreds of dollars very quickly. According to the US Census Bureau, the information on your screen is the amount of money that you could expect to make. This is what the average person makes in the United States without a high school diploma, with a high school diploma, bachelor's, master's, and doctorates. Yes, we all know perhaps somebody who makes more money, and we all know somebody who makes less money with or without those degrees. But this is average for the United States. So again, this gives you an idea. Associate degrees are not listed here. There are some associate degrees where you can become a nurse and you can make $60,000 or $70,000 a year. So it is essential when you're trying to figure out what career you're going to pursue that you spend some time talking with a counselor at your high school, at your college, taking classes that are going to assist you in determining that. But remember as well that a career is something that you enjoy doing. A job is something that you do because you have to pay the bills. So it's not always about money. It's about how many hours I'm going to be there. Am I going to have any type of benefits such as, vacation, life insurance, health insurance? Those are the things that matter when you become an adult. The other thing that you should do when you are in college is doing internships. And so internships increase the possibilities for future employment, provide real world experience in your field. So this is how you determine, right? So in the summer, you go do an internship and you say, yep, this is exactly what I plan to do for the next 25 years of my life. Or this is exactly the opposite of what I expected. And therefore, it's time for me to change my career. And so I had the privilege to work with students over the years. Two of my students ended up doing internships at the Bug Institute, and another individual, actually, two other individuals, went for the summer to Stanford University. And again, this is how they now have their bachelor's degrees and they have better chances of employment. The other thing you should do when you are in college is apply for scholarships and maintain a part time job, even if you don't need the money, because it teaches you responsibility and helps you save. Now, when you become a senior in high school, many school districts throughout the nation will sell your personal information, mainly addresses, names. And as a result of that, you may already be getting some letters, emails that say, hey, we're here to help you. You're graduating high school. Congratulations. Now, let's charge you some money to get you information about scholarships. So if you see something in a letter such as this scholarship is guaranteed or your money back, you need to just ignore it. This is a private company that is trying to get your money, and it's okay, it's a business, but you don't have to do that. I'm going to give you a list of different scholarships here that you can look for and apply for without costing you any money. And again, there's other examples of what we have seen in the past. Now, for students who are US citizens, residents of the United States, students who have the T1 visa, or students who apply for asylum, political asylum, and they received it, they can apply for FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid. This is an application that, again, will help determine if the government is going to give you over $6,000 a year to be able to pay for some of your college expenses. And in the state of California, the state of California uses that same application to determine if they're going to give you $1,600 or more in order to be able to pay for the rest of your education. For undocumented immigrants in California, if you completed 3 years of high school in California and graduated or will graduate, you can now apply for the CalDreamAct. Application opens for both FAFSA and the CalDreamAct for undocumented students on October 1st of each year, and it closes on March 2nd. Please do not wait until March 2nd to do your application, because especially if you're going to go to the community college or university, you want to find out how much the college or university is going to offer you. Now, I've had many students who are applying to 10 universities and they don't apply for the CalDreamAct until the last minute. Then they don't know how much the university is going to give them, because besides CalDreamAct, the university can give you additional funding in what is called institutional grants. But if Berkeley accepted you and UCLA accepted you and all these other universities accepted you, but because you turn in your paperwork late, now you don't know which one is going to give you more money, you may end up choosing the wrong university, and later on you will not have the funding to pay for it. Now, also, I'm making this video in October of 2020. It is important for you all to consider, if you're a high school senior, are you ready to go to a university where most of the education may still be done in fall of 2021 virtually? And are you willing to pay all that money? Or should you start at the community college and then transfer to the university? Those are the questions for you to decide, but it is my responsibility to get you to think about them. In order to apply for the CalDreamAct, you're going to need your information, your parents' information, if you live with them, and their income tax information from 2019. So it's usually for the prior year. And talking about scholarships, there is 10,000 Degrees. 10,000 Degrees offers a scholarship for students in Northern California. We are talking about Marin County, Sonoma County, and the area of Napa, Lake County area. please check out to make sure if your county is one of them. This one is open for U.S. citizens, residents, and undocumented students. 10,000 Degrees, again, is a nonprofit organization that gives away hundreds of thousands of dollars every year to assist students with their education. Scholarships at Santa Rosa Junior College give on average $1.5 million each year. So again, starting in January, you should always go to scholarships.santarosa.edu to find out how much money is available out there. Apply, and as a result of that, you may get enough money to cover all your classes, your books, and other expenses such as transportation and parking in the future. Within these scholarships, we also have a certain number of scholarships specifically for undocumented students. Any scholarship at Santa Rosa Junior College is open to everybody, including undocumented students, international students, U.S. residents, and citizens. But these three scholarships are only for undocumented students. Sueño Scholarship, on average, gives between 1 and 5 scholarships of $500. So again, check that one out. Luis Vasquez is a scholarship in memory of my brother, and I usually give between 3 and 4 scholarships of $250 each. And then the Limitless Scholarship is for undocumented students, and we on average give one scholarship of $350 every year. I am the organizer of these scholarships. So again, if you end up with any questions, please send me an email. At the end of this presentation, you will have my email address and my phone number. A brand new scholarship that I am starting this year is Lideres del Futuro. Lideres del Futuro is an actual organization that I started a few years ago. And for the first time, I'm going to be offering 2 scholarships of $500 each, only for undocumented students. And so I invite you to, again, send me an email at lideresdelfuturo@yahoo.com. And again, this is only for undocumented students in Sonoma County for now, and the application deadline will be September 20th. So again, I invite you to send an email right away if you're a high school senior, and so that we can see if we can get you some of that funding. It's important that you know that. Also, Latinos Unidos de Sonoma County, their website, Latinos Unidos de Sonoma, is another scholarship that you can apply for. This one starts in January. And so it's important that you get your essay ready. But again, go check out their website. And when the scholarship opens in January, download the application and start filling it out. It's important. And this one is open for U.S. citizens, residents, and undocumented immigrants. Hispanic Scholarship Fund.net is a website where you can go in January if you are a U.S. citizen, resident, or you have DACA. And so you can apply for this scholarship. They give away over $3 million each year. So again, usually the week of January 1st is when the scholarship application will open up. Go to their website, check it out, find out exact dates. And the one that I was talking with you about is Jack Kent Cooke Foundation Scholarship. Jack Kent Cooke Foundation Scholarship is a wonderful scholarship that is for 7th graders. So again, if you have a brother, a sister, or yourself are a 7th grader, in January of this upcoming year, you can apply. If you are a junior in high school, remember in August of every year is when it opens up for seniors. Unfortunately, for those of you who may be seniors in high school now, it's too late to apply. And this one is open for U.S. citizens, residents, again, and undocumented immigrants, as long as you graduate from a high school in the United States. And then if you didn't get it, but you're gonna go to the community college, 1 year prior to transferring to the university, you can apply for the Jack Kent Cooke Foundation Scholarship. It's competitive. They give away on average 95 scholarships of $40,000 a year for 4 years if you get it in 7th grade, or you get it in 12th grade, Or if you're going to transfer from the community college to the university, you can get it for 2 more years. Again, $40,000 a year. About 4 years ago, 5 years ago, one of our students at Santa Rosa Junior College received this scholarship, and she was able to pay for Berkeley. For students who are Latinas, Chicanas, Latinx, and have completed by December 12 units at a community college or university in Northern California, you can apply for the chicanalatina.org starting around January, February. Again, go to their website and confirm the exact date. Some of these scholarships, the dates change. So please take the time and go do that. They, on average, give between 30 and 45 scholarships of $1,500 each. Now, the most important piece about this scholarship is not even the money. The most important thing here is really that you get to make connections. There's usually a gala of 500 people that show up. We're talking about females who are lawyers, who are judges, who are elected officials, and you get to make those connections for that internship I mentioned at the beginning, for future employment. So please check that out if you identify as a female who is Chicana Latina. PEO California is also a place where you can go and find scholarships in California only for females. And again, please check it out. Different deadlines for these applications. I invite you to start looking into this one as soon as possible. It is important that you apply for scholarships. Many of our parents don't have the finances. They don't know that you could have created a bank account years ago to be able to then take care of all of your expenses in college. Therefore, scholarships are essential. If you're a student who is watching this and you're in junior high school, elementary school, one, talk to your parents about a 529 plan for college. And then again, you can reach out to me and I'll get you more information. If you're in junior high school, maybe also remember good grades, volunteering are essential for scholarships. So I'll have more information about that in a couple of minutes. And in this one, finally, Sir Optimist International, it's a scholarship that is available in different areas. So in the past, for people in Sonoma County, it existed in Santa Rosa, not Windsor, but yes on Hillsburg. It also existed in Sonoma. It didn't exist in Sebastopol. It existed in Petaluma. So please check it out. Go to that website, siroptimist.org, and from there, you can take the time and look and find out if your city is part of these scholarships. Immigrants Rising is a scholarship specifically for undocumented students. The website is immigrantsrising.org, and they have multiple resources, anything about how to survive in the United States if you're undocumented, so on and so forth. But they do tend to have one scholarship of a few $1,000s every year for one undocumented student. So again, go check that out. Go check out all of these websites to make sure that you understand what resources may be available for you. Finally, what we have here is FastWeb. FastWeb is a beautiful website because it has over 1.3 million scholarships. If you are 6'1" or taller, 5'4" or shorter, if you are a Catholic, if you're a Christian, if you don't believe in religion, there's scholarships for everybody. If you got injured for whatever reason when you were playing a sport, there's a scholarship for you. If your parents work with the union, there's a scholarship for you. There are just scholarships for everybody. If you happen to be undocumented, there's a question when you start the process and it asks if you're undocumented, you can be honest, because that's the only way that they can go from 1.3 million scholarships to something that is more manageable. So again, you can check this one out when you are like in 7th grade, 8th grade, and anytime after that. Now, when we talk about scholarships, it's important that we understand that you should only apply for scholarships that you're eligible for, that you verify that your application is full before you submit it, Now, most scholarships don't require you to do anything with paper. Most of it is done online, but neatness counts. It's important that you watch deadlines, and you should always submit your scholarship application 2 weeks before the deadline so that it will work, and that way you will not run into issues like your internet is not functioning an hour before you're supposed to turn in the scholarship application, so on and so forth. Keeping copies of the essays that you write so you can just reuse them for other applications, all of that is essential. Because also, one of the things that I see in the past, I've seen it, is individuals who submit their application, but for whatever reason, the scholarship didn't get it. You have evidence of when you submitted it, maybe a receipt number, anything like that. And then I always say to students, think local and then global, which means apply for local scholarships first because there's less competition. National scholarships may have hundreds or thousands of people applying for the same scholarship. In writing your essay, it's important that you think, that you brainstorm before you start writing your essay. Be original. Don't go online and look for examples of scholarship essays. Otherwise, you'll end up writing something so similar to that that if one of the readers of the essays reads your essay, then they'll be like, oh, I read something similar. They may go online and they may say, this is not original material. So make sure it comes from you. Tell a good story, develop a good theme that is going to go throughout the whole essay. Know your audience. So, for example, I was told years ago that the largest number of people who read essays at Santa Rosa Junior College are people who are in their 60s and early 70s. So, knowing who's going to read your essay, it's important. That way, you use vocabulary that they're going to be familiar with. And so, you can do this not just with scholarships at Santa Rosa Junior College, but anywhere else. It's okay to call and ask this type of questions. Can you give me an idea of who the audience is going to be for the essay? People actually appreciate that you're interested that much into the scholarship. And then review your essay. Again, take some time, write it, then come back a few days, reread it, make some changes, and then give it to somebody. Don't give it to your partner, don't give it to your best friend. Give it to somebody outside your house that you trust will give you honest feedback, a teacher, an administrator that you know, somebody that you trust who will be honest, but that's not going to feel bad by telling you there are so many issues with your essay that you should start from scratch, or that you're not really answering what the prompt that many of these scholarships may be providing you. Again, pay attention to the prompt, explain your educational and career goals, include your reasons for choosing these goals, and what you plan to do in your career. Also, explain any specific circumstances which support your application. When you do this, again, you should consider how well the students are addressing the essay question. Now, these things in this list came directly from a colleague here at Santa Rosa Junior College, and this is the stuff that they are looking for. They're asking the reader to ask themselves, can I follow and appreciate the writer's point of view? And again, are they keeping me focused? Again, this is important for you to understand as you're preparing your essay. What are they going to look for in order to determine if they should give you the scholarship? So again, at any time during this video, you can stop it. You can do screenshots if you're using your cell phone, and then you can use those tools later on, or just pause it, take your own notes, and then move forward. As far as the essay outline goes, it's important that you follow this guideline. Intro, a little bit of information about yourself, an obstacle or obstacles that you have faced, but don't focus so much on the obstacle. It's not about, oh, poor little me. It's about what you have overcome, and that's what they're looking for. unique skills or qualities that you have, and I'll talk more about each one of these in a minute. Educational goals, community service you may have done, motivation for pursuing this level of education, purpose, why is it that you need that money for, and then the importance of saying thank you. So, in the introduction, again, you must be able to catch the attention of the reader in 1 to 2 sentences. The idea here is you don't know if they're going to read your essay as the first one or the 400th time that they're reading an essay, and this is the last one that they're going to read. How do you make an impression so that they will always remember your story? So, again, 1 to 2 sentences. The following is an example of this, and it says, I have of late been thinking about numbers quite a lot, the number one in particular. This student was eventually accepted at Harvard. And then the other one that I like specifically for undocumented community, it says, uproot a tree and replant it. Chances are very high that the tree will have difficulty surviving. The student was accepted to Brown University, and she's talking about not a tree, but the fact that her parents one day pick up and relocated to the United States from another country, and she had a difficulty learning the language, the culture, getting used to the food, the community she was living in, so on and so forth. Again, it's catchy. People will continue to read the essay. As far as the background, who are you? You can tell maybe that you're an immigrant to the United States. Maybe that you are quadrilingual. Maybe you speak 4 languages or trilingual. Maybe you come from a single parent household. Maybe you have parents who never graduated from elementary school. It's okay to share some of this information. Again, you want to take a couple of sentences and just share a little bit of this information. And as I mentioned earlier, don't focus on the obstacle, um, but focus on the success. Maybe, learning English, coming to this country and learning English was something challenging for me. And today I'm taking AP English. Today I am at this level of English. That's the type of thing that they're looking for. Maybe you had to deal with an illness at an early age, and today you are no longer sick, or you have learned to overcome most of the symptoms of that illness or to live with the illness, but not limiting yourself because of the illness. In the skills and qualities, again, maybe you're bilingual, trilingual, quadrilingual. Maybe you have computer skills that you develop on your own since the time you were very, very young, or art skills. This should be a skill that somehow connects to share a little bit about yourself, but hopefully also connects to the career that you are pursuing. And what's going to be your educational goal? Are you going to go and become a lawyer, let's say, in California? Well, you can say, I'm going to start at Santa Rosa Junior College after I graduate high school because my family cannot afford for me to go directly to another university. But then I will transfer to Berkeley in 3 years. And after that, I will apply and go to their program in law, and I will graduate from Berkeley Law School in, let's say, 7 years. Them knowing the steps that you're going to take is essential. And so be clear about this. Take some time in the paper to go step by step and let them know that you're not afraid to dream big. Again, a timeline is essential. In regards to community service, you can do community service at the food bank. And understand that sometimes people say, I did community service, such as taking care of children in Sunday school. Well, that's not really community service. That's service for your church. Community service means, by definition, that it must be open to everybody in the community. If through your church, maybe you went out and fed the homeless multiple times a year, that is community service. You went to the food bank, whatever it is. The other thing is it needs to be constant. Even if it is 3 hours a month, well, it's 3 hours a month, but you've been doing it for 3 years, that is constant. Not those individuals who go for Thanksgiving and they do it right in November, or for that holiday event and they do it once a year and then they go home and they do nothing. Now, it's important that you also understand that it cannot be a requirement for high school graduation. I know that in the past, Hillsburg, Windsor perhaps, and Sonoma Valley High School, for those of you in Sonoma County, they require for you to do a certain number of community service hours. Those do not qualify as community service because it's mandated. It has to come from the heart. It has to be something that call your attention to go out there and do it. Always do community service, but this is the other important thing. If you cannot do community service, it's better if you address it in the essay and say, I would love to do community service in this area, whether it is feeding the homeless, whether it is childcare, whatever. But when I go home after school, I have to pick up my little brother, my little sister who are in elementary school, and I am their caretaker until mom, dad comes from work and then they can take over. It's better to be honest that way than to simply pretend that nobody is going to look for community service in your essay. And then, what is your motivation for pursuing higher education? Don't say that because you want to make a lot of money. Talk about how becoming a nurse is going to help the community in general. Talk about how you've always wanted to do this. It cannot be because your parents wanted to. I've met multiple Latinx community members where the female student says she wants to be a nurse because mom always wanted to be a nurse, but she ended up getting pregnant at an early age and she could never pursue that. Well, that is mom's goal. That may not be your goal. So pursue your goal. Otherwise, it doesn't matter if they pay you $100,000 a year, you're going to be miserable and eventually you're going to go into a different career. And the reason why you're asking for the money, you could say that you need the money to pay for fees or books or supplies such as lab equipment, maybe a new laptop that you need. Do not say that you need it for transportation. They don't really care about that unless you are studying abroad. Let's say you're going to go to a program in China. Well, then you can say, yeah, I have to pay for this multi-thousand-dollar, airplane ticket, and that's why I need the money. Do not say that you need it for food. They'll tell you to go to the food bank. Do not say that you need it for clothing again. And then the other question that comes up on a regular basis is, well, if I already said I need it for classes and books and this application, what do I say in this other application? Again, you should be applying as a high school senior, you should be applying for 5 scholarships every month starting in July. For college students, it should be 1 to 2 scholarships every month, year round. And so the answer is it's okay to say that you need it for classes or class fees and books and supplies in one scholarship and in every scholarship because there's no guarantee that you're going to get any of them. So you're not lying. That is extremely important. And then for closing, the power of thank you. At the end of your essay, you should always say, thank you for your consideration of my request, or thank you for taking the time to read my essay, or thank you for taking the time to review my application. In psychology, we are taught about the power of thank you. I want you to imagine a mom who gets into an argument with her child every week about taking out the garbage. Instead of getting into an argument for 5 minutes where the mom is eventually just going to grab the garbage, take it out so that she doesn't have to argue again, the technique here is the mom starts heading out of let's say, the living room towards her bedroom and says, hey, thank you for taking the garbage out today without any problems. And then walks out of the room. By the time the kid has time to acknowledge what was just said, there's not going to be time for an argument because mom is already gone. And now you feel a level of guilt. And so you'll get up, even if you're in a bad mood, you'll get up and you are more likely to take out that garbage than take the time to go argue with that person. In the same way, saying thank you at the end of an essay will increase your chances that the people will feel more likely to, again, give you the scholarship. And so it's important that you keep that in mind. Now, one last thing here, also, it's important is that even if your parents make $300,000 a year, if you're doing the CalDreamAct or the FAFSA and the scholarship requires you to submit that information, they may look at it and says, well, this student's parents are making, again, $250,000. Why should we give the money? It's good for you in the essay to say, although my parents' income is about $250,000, I want to clarify that they have determined that I need to figure out college for myself. And in that situation, if the parents are not paying for your education, but their income is so high, there is no FAFSA, there is no CalDreamAct money. So again, the scholarship may be willing, the committee may be willing to give you that funding for that scholarship. One sentence can make all the difference. Again, my name is Rafael Vasquez Guzman. I am the EOPS Outreach Coordinator at Santa Rosa Junior College. Should you have any questions about scholarships, please feel free to send me an email at rvasquez@santarosa.edu. And you can call 707-521-7879 or my direct line, 527-4585. 527-4585. Again, check out all the other information. Check out information about EOPS. You can also go to our website at eops.santarosa.edu. And remember, if you're watching this in other parts of California, remember EOPS exists in every one of the 115 community colleges in California. Thank you for your time.